you're investing a lot of money into this piece of paper, make sure that piece of paper is worth it. What's good, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing well. Today's video is gonna be a fun one because today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys the worst degrees that you could get in 2020. This is not an easy conversation to have, but I think we should have it because it's really important to be real with yourself about the amount of money that you're spending on your degree and the possible amount of debt that you're taking out for a degree and whether or not it's actually going to be worth it. So I'm gonna be running through with you guys the degrees that I honestly do not think are worth the student loan debt. If I list your degree here, I am not saying that you should not pursue whatever it is that your passion is. If your passion is carving potatoes, then you should pursue that. Fucking bitch. Like, do not let some random person on YouTube tell you to not pursue your passion. All I'm saying is that it may not be worth it to take out student loan debt for that particular degree. So before we jump into the video, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already. I have new videos coming out every Sunday and every Wednesday, and I don't want you guys to miss any. So the first degree that I encourage you guys to maybe not take out is a music degree. I know a lot of people who like do music, who make music. My boyfriend makes music. A lot of people I know in my life make music, and not a single one of them are majoring in music. And every single one of them have told me the reason why they're not doing that is because you don't have to be in school to learn how to make music. Even if you want to learn the most high-tech musical production skills or whatever, you don't need to be in school to learn that. You can very easily learn that outside of a classroom. And if you want to like maybe work in the music industry, then I would encourage you guys to get maybe like a marketing degree or like a business degree and think about what creative ways can you still get the skills that you may need to be a musician or to be in the music industry, but not having a music degree, because again, I just don't think it's marketable and I don't think it's worth the debt. So the second major that I don't think is a good idea if you are gonna be taking out student loan debt is actually a big umbrella of majors, and that is liberal arts.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And before you guys get mad at me, there are tons of liberal arts majors out there, and I think that some of them are actually very, very valuable. So I'm gonna list for you guys the specific liberal arts majors that I don't think are worth it, and those are sociology, philosophy, theology, English, writing. Any of those majors, to me personally, are not very marketable. Those skills are not going to make you a competitive applicant in a job. A lot of these majors are great if you plan to actually study these things like for the rest of your life, right? Like if you want to get like a master's or a PhD in any of these things, then I think that's a really, really, really good idea. Like if you know you want to be an English professor or an English writer, then by all means take out an English degree, please. But honestly, other than that, a lot of these liberal arts majors are not skill sets that people are really yearning for in businesses. The job market right now is very, very competitive, and you want to have the most marketable degree possible if you're going to be taking out student loan debt, right? So I just don't want you guys to waste your money on these things, even though I think a lot of these things are interesting. Like for me, I was always very into sociology, but I know at the end of the day, it's like, what kind of job am I gonna get with that? And be able to pay off my student loan debt. It's not to say that you guys are never gonna be able to find jobs at any of these degrees. Like if you are a writer, if you are a writing major, you can easily go and apply for maybe some marketing jobs and show that you have really great writing skills. But again, it's not as competitive, right? So if you're gonna be taking out the student loan debt, you should look for a degree that's really going to put you ahead of the game. It's going to give you a skill set that's a lot easier to sell when you're trying to get hired, if that makes sense. There are some liberal arts majors that I do think are better, that I think are a little bit more worth the money. So those are things like international relations, and I think that's a really, really good major, especially if you want to get into politics. Same thing goes with history and law. So if you want to work in the government, law is a really, really great option. And also, of course, if you want to be a lawyer, then I think history and law are really great. So the next major or next degree on my list is physical sciences. And by that, I basically mean anything that has to do with like physical education or physical like sports medicine type sciences. So an example of this would be kinesiology. I feel like I always say that word wrong. The reason why I say that this is not a good major is because, again, this is not very marketable. If you have a specific path in mind and you know that kinesiology is the way to get there, like for example, if you want to do nursing, then obviously you would want to go and take kinesiology. Like that's a great path to get there. Or if you want to be a physical education teacher, then yeah, you should probably do kinesiology. But if you do not have a specific path in mind, like if kinesiology just seems cool to you and interesting, then please do not choose that as your like major. Because if you took out a bunch of student loan debt for that and you don't know exactly what you want to do with it, then I think it'll really be a waste, like personally, because it's not that marketable of a degree. And a lot of those, a lot of the field paths that you would go into with that kind of degree, require you to do extra schooling, right? So unless you plan to go to nursing school or go med school or something and you want to be like a sports doctor, unless you plan to be in school for a little bit longer and pursue something a little bit higher up, I don't think a bachelor's degree in those kinds of like areas are worth the student loan debt. The next one on my list is education. The reason why I put this on my list is because it's not that I don't think that you should take out student loan debt to become a teacher. Obviously, to become a teacher, you have to go to college, and there is a teacher, student loan debt forgiveness program. So I do think that if you have to take out student loan debt and you want to become a teacher, then you should do it. But I will say that if you're kind of thinking about becoming a teacher, you do not need a teaching or an education degree to become a teacher. So unless you know like 100% that you want to be a teacher, do not go and waste your money on an education degree. Like, it's just not, again, it's not marketable in this day and age, in this job market, unless you want to be a teacher, which is a really, really, really great profession. Unless you know 100% you want to do that, I just don't see why you would take out the student loan debt to pursue that. Next one on my list is an arts degree. By this, I mean basically anything having to do with art. So fine arts, theater, design, studio art, like there's a lot of different arts degrees. And I will personally say that I do not think you should take out student loan debt for an arts degree. I would hate for you guys to be left in this job market, again, in student loan debt and looking for a job that has nothing to do with any of these arts degrees and being stuck. If you're gonna have a couple $1,000s in student loan debt, fine, who cares, whatever. But again, if you're gonna pay for your school mainly with student loan debt, you have to be real with yourself, right? Like, if I get an acting degree, what are the chances of me getting paid as an actor immediately out of college? And what am I gonna do in the first 5 to even maybe 10 years that it takes me to get to where I wanna be in acting? What am I gonna do in the meantime? Am I gonna be able to find a job that helps me pay off my student loans? Like, you have to really think about that stuff. Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't pursue any of these things that you guys are passionate about, but I think that you should be strategic about it. And with all these kinds of arts degrees, you can pursue them outside the classroom, right? So you can learn how to do graphic design outside the classroom. You can learn about acting at different acting clubs. Like, a lot of these majors are great to, get a degree in, but you do not need a degree to be an artist. So that's why that is on my list. And the last one on my list is criminal justice. And this is a degree, I don't know a lot of people who have this, but I will say criminal justice is one of those majors, again, that is just not marketable. Criminal justice, from what I've heard, is a really good degree if you want to become a cop. Other than that, I don't really see why you would go to school and take out student loans to be a criminal justice major. I'm sure it's a really, really interesting field, and I'm sure, there's a lot to learn about it, especially while being in college, because I don't know where else you would really learn about criminal justice outside of like the classroom. But again, like, unless you want to do this one specific path, criminal justice just doesn't make sense as a major. It doesn't make sense to take out student loans for it. And I've looked into like the different, salaries that you could get with a criminal justice degree, and it's just not very high. Like, I just do not see the worth in it. So I will say that I think if you're interested in doing that, I don't think it's worth the student loan debt. So that's it, you guys. I don't, like, if you're still watching this and you're waiting for me to like say your like degree and you're like nervous that I'm gonna say it, I'm done. Like, that is it. So if you have any other degrees in mind that you guys plan to take out student loan debt for, not to say that every other degree is so worth it. You guys know I'm a big believer in, before you even apply to college, make sure you know that you want to get a college degree. Go watch my videos on whether or not I think getting a college degree is worth it. And then from there, you really, really, really want to be strategic about what you're taking out student loan debt for. I just don't want you guys to fall into the trap of thinking that if you have a certain passion, that the key to getting there is a college degree. All a college degree really does is it unlocks the door for you to get paid more for certain jobs. So do not waste your investment money. You're investing a lot of money into this piece of paper. Make sure that piece of paper is worth it. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Again, if you guys have any like degrees that you guys are like planning on getting that I haven't mentioned here, let me know, because I'm really interested in seeing like what you guys are interested in. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys leave a like and a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.